This one in Jersey on Friday was brief. Like, it was really, really brief. It happened, it shook, and then it stopped. Just like that. That was an explosion. And let me tell you what they were doing. There is a massive tunnel system that originates on the coastline of New Jersey that goes to Bermuda, underwater, to Bermuda, and then jets out to Florida, connects to Florida, and then goes from Florida to Mexico, different parts of Mexico, actually. It's not just like a one way that you could go to Jersey to Bermuda to Florida to Mexico, and those are only the destinations you could go to. When you get to Florida, the tunnel systems flowing from Florida underneath the Gulf to go to Mexico and to go to the other islands that are out in the Caribbean, there's many different pathways. The main reason for the tunnel on the East Coast was to get to Florida, because Florida is these branching of tunnel systems. You could go to so many different ways. Florida is the hotbed. Anybody remember all of the earthquakes and the earth shaking inexplicably in Florida, like last year, I think it was, the end of 2022, maybe beginning of 2023? Remember all that? Yep. And now it's happening on the East Coast too. There was a massive tunnel system that went from the upper East Coast, the New Jersey, New York area. And the reason why New Jersey makes sense is because it's not in New York. Let me say that again. The reason why New Jersey makes sense is because it's not in New York. Because what people will do is they'll snatch up your kid in New York, they'll drive across state lines to Jersey, and they'll get into that tunnel system and never to be seen again. And then everybody's looking around in New York, missing this one, missing that one. New York, New York, New York. It's actually in Jersey. And by the way, if you weren't quick enough, it's in Florida. And by the way, by the time you start looking there, it's gone. That was a major shut down tunnel system that happened on Friday. And if you look at what else happened on Friday, it makes it even more interesting. There were 70 large military aircraft in the form of helicopters at the Allentown Bethlehem Airport, which was only, I think it was like 50 some miles from the epicenter of Jersey. And they're also, and that's only it's probably about the same distance from me, about 50, 60 miles from where I am in Pennsylvania. We never get military aircraft like that. Never. Never, never, never. And that all happened at the same time that the earthquake was happening. So you have high level military activity taking out the dumb system. I don't even want to call it a dumb system. Deep underground military tunnels, but it's more of a cabal, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking system. And certain entrances still exist. Most of which have been shut down, but we've been hearing the blasts and we've been feeling the shakes for a long time. And this one on the East Coast was a very, very important one. Very, very important one. Because it shuts down the entire East Coast from getting down south and into Mexico. And once you're in Mexico, or once you're in any of the islands in the Caribbean, you're gone. You could get to Russia in the blink of an eye from there, because nothing down there. And people down there, they'll just take money and they'll take the buyout. This always had to do with the kids. This always had to do with saving our children from going missing, saving our children from being tortured, raped, sold, killed, used. This is what this operation, the main point of this operation always was about. And this stuff has been happening now for years. Remember all the underground fires that we were seeing in DC? Those tunnels in DC connected to the main tunnel that was on the East Coast, which was in Jersey. And once they took kids out of DC, they would fly them up to, not fly them, but they would take them underground to Jersey, boom, right down south, Bermuda, Florida, Mexico, gone forever. I know it's crazy. I know it sounds crazy to think, but this happens every single day underneath your feet. You don't even know it. Where do you think the kids go? Where do you think the 50,000 a month that go missing, where do you think they go? You think that they're put on aircraft and taken out of the country? No. How could you get rid of 50,000 kids a month? Just to never be seen again. How could you do that? Without some sort of elaborate system. That's what happened Friday. But look at the eclipse. Look at the eclipse. Don't look at the military aircraft in Allentown. Look at the eclipse. Maybe they'll activate CERN. Look at the eclipse. Hurry up, look at it. Earthquakes. Remember back in 1880 whatever, there were massive things of earthquakes because of the eclipse. What? You sound like you're an idiot when you say something like that.